All right, everyone. So we're going to go over the game plan for the week ahead here. And hopefully this will help you guys as you're kind of trying to figure out what's been going on in the market. So if you tuned in yesterday, I did a weekly recap because this week was pretty fantastic. I finished the week up. Well, this was the last 5 days. So the first week of August, $68,000 in profit. It was phenomenal. $5,000 Monday, $28,000 Tuesday, $26,000 on Wednesday, $2,200 on Thursday, and then $6,500 or so on Friday. Overtraded a little bit on Thursday. Was up as high as $10,000 or $12,000. Finished the day up only $2,200, and then fees and commissions were higher on that day. So the big action from the previous week, of course, was driven by HKD, this Chinese IPO that topped out on Tuesday. Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Tuesday with a high of $2,555.30. I have never seen a stock go up that much. Now, the reality is I didn't really make that much money on it. Of the $68,000 I made, and I'll just switch here. So let's see, that was from the $68,000 in profit right here, which, by the way, as always, my results are not typical. Make sure you take it slow. There's no guarantee you'll find success as a trader, so practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. But the $68,000, that was only $800 was from HKD. The rest was from sympathy momentum, and we had some great sympathy momentum last week. But what are we going to get this week ahead? All right, so for the week ahead, I'm thinking that we should probably focus initially on stocks pre-market tomorrow, Monday morning, that have breaking news. Those were actually the biggest winners that I had on Friday. Thursday was a little choppy. Now, we do have MEGL, MEGL, also a Chinese IPO. I tried to buy 1,000 shares at $55 or $50 on Friday, and I filled 2 shares. Went up to a high of $235. So, wow. And it ended up closing at 198, which is kind of forming a very bizarre cup and handle pattern. This big cup, the handle. So this could be a long over 198, but the daily, this one daily candle, because it was an IPO, is a shooting star. So approach it with caution. Again, this is probably going to be like HKD, not worth trading and just going to be too risky, but it may trigger sympathy momentum. In any case, I think the game plan tomorrow is going to be to sit down and watch breaking news, because I think the thing is, if a stock has actual news, that's going to give us the highest likelihood of some good opportunities. Because the thing is, I think there's going to be still FOMO, MOMO, traders that missed opportunities last week that want to try to capitalize when something starts to move. But I think short sellers are going to be a little more aggressive since it kind of feels like we're on the backside of this HKD move. So I think to combat that, having a stock that actually has news is probably going to be the safest bet. So tomorrow morning, sitting down, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:39, we're going to be watching top and bottom of the hour for breaking news headlines. We had AHPI on Friday. This one had news and squeezed from 220 up to 333, right? So that one ended up being a really good news trade, over $1 a share, and that was my biggest winner of the entire day. It ended up coming up in the afternoon or late morning as well. But really, that was sort of that algo spike right early in the morning. It was right at 8 a.m. So I think that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow. So when I sit down tomorrow, I'll be looking at the scanners, looking at the top gappers, watching to see what's moving. And then at the top and the bottom of each hour, I'll be closely watching my high-a-day scanner, because that's going to show me the stocks that are moving up right now. And stocks moving up right now when it's at the top and the bottom of the hour pre-market are typically moving up because of breaking news. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Now, if we end up having, if MEGL at 4 a.m. spikes to like $400 a share or something, and then by 8:30 or 9, it's fading back down. I don't know. If it's holding up and it looks like it's going to do a gap and go and do something similar to HKD, I might take a little bit of risk on it, but I'll also be watching closely to see where we get some sympathy and momentum. Do we have other stocks that start to pop up? Because there's a lot of traders that, as much as they might like to trade HKD or MEG-L, they simply can't afford it. And so they're going to wait for the next stock that's squeezing up, that's within their price range, and they're going to hit it hard. So actually, here's a big takeaway. This is something I was thinking about yesterday. I think this is a market where you want to be able to get on the throttle real quick and gun it, go hard when it's hot, and then ease right off real fast when it starts getting choppy. So like when we're on a straightaway and we've got a couple of big momentum stocks, that's when I'm going to gun it. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to go hard. And then when we start getting into these really curvy, choppy kind of markets, I'm just going to ease right off. I'm going to hang low, sit tight, just let things sort of chop out. So be quick to ease on the throttle and then cool right back down when things get choppy. It's a bit of a hot and cold market right now, which is certainly better than the market that we were in 3 or 4 weeks ago, which was just cold. At least we're getting some action, but then, you know, it's a little bit of pop and drop where you see something like some of these stocks that have hit the scanners, WAFU on Friday, for instance, which I didn't trade, but, you know, it pops up and then drops back down. EEIQ, I mean, I don't know, I didn't look at this chart, but, you know, pops up, kind of drops back down. Now you can make a little money on pop and drop action. Obviously you're not going to do as well as on something like a QNRX that just keeps ripping. So a QNRX, this is like the straightaway. This is where I think you're going to want to try to be as aggressive as you can. Do, you know, get your lead on this type of stock. And then when it starts to get choppy and we're just seeing things immediately reject, then ease off, slow down, and wait for the next one that's clean. We probably do need the next sort of big momentum stock that's going to be driving the action. Obviously, PGY was driving the action for the last, you know, starting around July 22nd, the 20th actually, July 20th. That gave us a really strong finish to the month of July. And then HKD took over. And now I'm wondering what's going to take over from HKD. Is it going to be MEG-L? Is it going to be something that I don't even know yet? I'm not sure, but I think there's a lot of traders out there that are excited after these last couple weeks of action. And so when you see something starting to move up, people are going to jump on it pretty quickly. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Of course, you know, I'll continue to use the scans here. I'll put a link on YouTube and I'll put it in the comments as well. We're inviting people to use the Day Trade Dash software, email invitation only. So we've got a VIP list. The Day Trade Dash software here will give you access to all of my scanners, the Day Trade Dash chat room, a standalone chat room, and my audio video broadcast. So you can watch me trading. Now, it's not exactly the same as the old chat only memberships we had over at Warrior, because now we have this scanning software. So Day Trade Dash really is the scanning software more than anything else. So let's see, there you go. All right, so you can join the wait list. There's a link in the pin to the comments here. So if you want to join, we've opened enrollment for monthly membership and also for quarterly memberships. So those will give you access to the scanners, the news feed, a standalone chat room, Day Trade Dash chat room, and my audio video broadcast. All right, so let's see. And you know, I'm, as far as like some of these big stocks go and the overall market, the large caps, you know, your Tesla stocks, I don't really think too much of that. I'm happy to see, you know, Tesla's back above the 200. I think that's great. The S&P 500 is still below the 200. Apple is above it. So, you know, we've got some stocks which are, you know, leading the way a little bit, and the S&P is kind of coming up with it, but we'll see. It's been, you know, as you can see, a pretty choppy day on Friday, sell off, up, back down, back up, back down, coming into this wedge. We'll see how that breaks out on Monday. So, you know, we continue to have some market data, economic data that comes out. We had jobs numbers on Friday that kind of threw things off a little bit. But that's the overall market. And I don't think that that's going to have a really big impact on the small cap stocks that I typically am trading. You know, these are stocks that, they're small cap companies. When they have news, they buck the trend of the overall market. HKD is its totally own thing. The action we had on AMTD, QNRX, a lot of this was sympathy momentum, ENVB. So you could check out the episode that I recorded yesterday as a live broadcast if you're curious about what happened to my volume bars here. Got to add back volume. If you're curious about some of the stocks I traded last week. But I thought I'd give you just sort of my breakdown and assessment of what I'm thinking should be the game plan for the week ahead. So I'm going to try to be aggressive when we're seeing opportunities, and when things are choppy, I'm just going to try to sit on the sidelines and just wait for wait for things to open up again. So something like ENVB going from 8 to 15, that was a really nice clean move. Yeah, AMC, GameStop, these type of stocks. Like I said, I don't really have any strong opinion on these either. As far as day trading them is concerned, I don't think that they're really particularly easy to day trade. So I'm just not really that interested. They're more swing trading, investing type of stocks, I think, at this point. So let's see. I think there are a couple other things I wanted to go over. I'm going to have an episode this week where I'm going to talk about some of the indicators that I'm using on my charts to help me avoid false breakouts. So you guys can stay tuned for that. I have a podcast episode that we're going to release this week. So I'll give you guys some info on that. I also have a video that's going to come out probably, I can't remember when we're going to publish it, but maybe tomorrow on that gives you kind of a deep dive into the scanners on Day Trade Dash, how we built them, what we look for, criteria, things like that, which scans I like the most, and kind of how I'm using them. So so those are some things to look forward to this week. I'm hoping that we see some good action. I am going to be on my traveling trading station Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but I'll be in the office on Monday, and I'll be in the office on Friday. This is my home office, whatever. But that doesn't really change anything. I trade on my traveling trading station all the time. So it's just letting you know that's my schedule. Oh, and I'm donating, let's see, $1,500 for the video from yesterday. Got a bunch of thumbs up, a bunch of people shared it, and I kept track of that. I said for those I would donate to charity for each thumbs up and share. So donating $1,500 for that from yesterday. So thank you guys who hit the thumbs up and are helping the channel grow. Really do appreciate it. You guys are making a huge difference. If there's any questions, you can feel free to throw them in the chat, and I can answer a few here. Let's see, tire kickers. So my tire kickers videos, it's a fun side project, but I was working on it more in, let's see, it was in kind of like the 2019, like very beginning of 2020. And the problem that I just had was when we went into this, COVID lockdown and everything else, things just got super, super busy, and I wasn't able to, I just wasn't, it wasn't easy for me to schedule this stuff. So, it's a fun project. I'm super into classic cars and older cars. So I like making these videos when I have some time, but things have just been, busy. So just a side project. The cool thing with these videos, like this one on this 1969 Mustang, this is it's such a classic car. Like, people can watch this video for forever. So I'm not going to do videos on like a 2022 Honda Accord that no one's going to care about in a year and a half. I only will do videos on old cars that I think people will enjoy for a long time. So it's kind of like a little archival project, find a cool car, do some videos on it, and then that'll help people for forever that are interested in that car, because these are, pieces of history. 1966 Corvette. This one's a fun one. So anyways, yeah, you know, it's like a hobby. So, and then I have the Tire Kickers blog also. But yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time for it recently. It's been pretty busy with trading. Have I noticed stocks to take the elevator up and the stairs down recently? So, I mean, yeah, I guess we've seen a little bit of that. Like in some ways, AHPI was like straight up on an algo spike and then kind of stair stepping down. So some of them have gone straight up on, you know, an algo spike. Yeah, they can then stair step down, but I mean, we've also seen some, you know, stocks take the elevator back down too, where they just flush hard. We had APDN that did a couple of really nasty rejections. This was so brutal. This one up at $7. It broke 7, went up to 7.35, drops down to 6.26, halts down. It's just stupid. Kind of action is terrible. Can't stand it. So trading account, let's see, an account of 7,000 with a PDT rule. So, you know, if I had, I mean, you know, what I would do is different from what other people would do for a million reasons. But if I had an account with 7,000, and I mean, I do have a CMEG account that has 4,000 in it right now, and I haven't been trading in it, but it's the small account from the last challenge I did, and that's just what's in it right now. So, you know, for me, I would probably use one of the offshore brokers out there because I would want to be able to day trade it more. I mean, I just know that that's what I would do because I want to day trade as much as possible. Okay, that's me. Other people would say, well, there's risk with offshore brokers. You don't have the insurance. You know, it's just inherently they're riskier than using a US broker. But if you use a US broker, you either have a cash account and you trade with 50% of the balance every other day, which means you're taking a $3,500 trade each day. That, you know, that's, you could buy 1,000 shares of a $3 stock, and in theory, you know, if you made 15 cents, you could make 150 bucks, and you could do that every day. But then the problem is, what happens if the stock that's moving is like $12 or $15? Then you can only buy 300 shares, and well, that's not really going to be enough size probably to do enough damage on the trade to make enough money, and you're going to start to feel frustrated, and so you're going to be kind of cutting yourself short. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but you have to do what's right for you. And one of the advantages with TD Ameritrade or some of these other brokers, of course, is free commissions. Executions with small size are fine. I mean, they're not quite as fast, but they're not bad. Let's see. All right, so iLag, yep. Yep, so yeah, you ended up getting a little after hours move on that. So that's definitely worth watching continuation on. Good call. The pivot that I was looking at was at, you know, 438. So now that you're above that level, thanks to that after hours move, you've got room. Your next level of resistance is 578. It's a little close to that. But then above there, you know, technically you've got no resistance till 26 on the daily. So it does start to open up. Could be interesting. Flow's pretty low. Recent IPO. Maybe. I'll keep it on watch for tomorrow. We'll see. It's a possibility. So we'll watch that. We'll watch Meg L. QNRX. I'm not interested in that one. That one's done. They did the offering. Came back down too much. And that's a risk with reverse split stocks. They'll do those offerings. So what I think I'll do, I think I'll let you guys go, and I'll give you a link to the video from yesterday's week in review, because that goes into detail on reverse splits and IPOs and the trades from the week. And I'll put another video down here on scalp trading. So you guys can check out those 2 videos if you want to keep studying a little bit more tonight. And I'll see you back here for the morning show first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks for tuning in.